Welcome to the Mind Body Business Show. The 3 keys to your success is just moments away. Here's your host, Brian Kelly.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Mind Body Business Show. We have an amazing special, very special edition for you today because my buddy, Zachary Babcock, is in the house. I cannot wait. We're bringing him on really quickly. Real quick, the Mind Body Business Show, it is a show by entrepreneurs for entrepreneurs to help you model success. And that's why I bring people like Zachary Babcock onto the show so that you can learn from him. All you have to do is listen, take notes, be sure to take notes. And then when the show is over, go back and review those notes and take action on those notes. Yes, notes. Let's bring it out. Bring out the piece of paper, the pen. Stay with us through to the very end. You will not want to miss one moment. And no more yakking by me. Here we go. We're going to bring him on right now. Here we go.
It's time for the Guest Expert Spotlight. Savvy, skillful, professional, adept, trained, big league, qualified.
And there he is, ladies and gentlemen, the one, the only Mr. Zachary Babcock. Woo! I love it. How you doing, buddy?
What's up, Brian, man? I'm excited to be here, man. I'm loving the energy, dude.
Oh, yeah. I love what I get to do. I kid you not. To meet people like you. I know we met in person a couple years ago. We'll touch on that. To meet so many wonderful people by doing this show, I am blessed beyond belief, brother. And you know, to have the ability, the technology to bring you, not to just myself, but to share you with all of my connections as well is a blessing beyond blessing. So thank you for spending the time to come on here, brother.
Hey, thanks for having me. What I love most about what you said is I love what I get to do, not what I have to do or that. So yeah, it's powerful in those words right there.
And there we go, ladies and gentlemen. The Mind Body Business Show, the first one being what? Mind. And that gentleman, that is why he is where he is today. Because of his big, beautiful brain, his mind, and what he has done to cultivate it, to improve it, to create a very empowering, positive, and flexible mindset. You don't know this, Zach, but I've been like stalking you since we met in St. Louis about 2 years ago, which is a great story in and of itself. We met at a Starbucks in a Target store, no less. And man, you really rocked my world in a good way, in a great way. I would not have ever known you had ever done anything that would put you in a place behind bars had you not said it to me. I wouldn't have known it. You have this incredible, wonderful, beautiful soul. I could see right through you're an amazing guy. And I'm so excited for you, for what you've accomplished, because the odds, man, they were stacked against you. Your story is so compelling. I love that about, you know, where you were becoming you were like the top sales guy in this department store. And then you got promoted. And that raised red flags. So they looked at you deeper, saw that you had a history, and got rid of you real quick. I mean, how do you overcome something like that? What was that like?
Right on, man. I appreciate that, dude. And likewise, you, man. It's good to be connected with good people. You know what I mean? It's always a blessing. He's always got to count the smaller things in life. You know what I mean? But yeah, dude. I mean, I talk about how that instance that you're talking about where I got fired from being a convicted felon after getting promoted because I rocked it for them. That turned out to be my power. That turned out to be the adversity, the dark times and stuff, man. That is what makes you who you are. Like it becomes it builds the strength of character, the mental fortitude, the mental toughness that you need. Like if everything was just given to you, I mean, you wouldn't be nothing. You wouldn't develop any type of skill and any type of resilience or any type of confidence. And so I'm grateful for all that stuff, man. It's truly made me who I am today.
Yeah. And, you know, looking back, it's something literally we can look back on. We've all had our own ups and downs individually, and you can look back. I do. And I say, you know what, that was hell to go through. But looking back now, that was actually a blessing because I wouldn't be where I am today. You know, working with people like you, meeting people like you, interacting with people. I mean, the positive mindset, man. I love entrepreneurs. It's like being in a second family. And that's what I felt like with you. Like you were my brother sitting across the table. You know, we're kneecap to kneecap there at Starbucks, just having a nice chat. And I thought there's something special about this guy. And then following you for the next couple of years and seeing where you've come, and I don't mean this demeaning or in any way, but I feel like a proud father, if you will, because I was just so happy for you, man. You have really taken what a lot of people would have just accepted the situation. You did the opposite. And that's what is so compelling. And I love to put you on a pedestal because, look, ladies and gentlemen, if this man can do it, what's holding you back? I mean, seriously. And right between the eyes, right? Because sometimes it does take really big hardships to kind of wake us up, smack us in the face. Like you missed the delivery, the birth of your twin sons. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Yeah,
that was it, man. That right there. That part right there, missing out on their birth. I know it sounds crazy, but that's like the greatest thing that could have ever happened to me because that pain that I went through, because I grew up playing football and I didn't have a father figure. And I used to see all my friends' dads, be there at practice. And I used to wonder, how did that feel? And I couldn't wait to not only do that, but to be the coach of my son's football team, and missing out on that from being selfish, for making poor decisions. That pain got me to flip the switch and say, you know what, everything wrong in my life is my fault, and everything right in my life is my fault. And that extreme ownership gave me a place of power.
Ooh, that's powerful right there. Just that statement. Corrine Willett, thank you for coming on once again. Excited for this interview. Good afternoon. And I love what Wanda Reynolds just said. Amen. The past does not define us. Always reinvent yourself. Absolutely. Totally agree. And moving on, let's get past, your story is compelling. It's amazing. Now let's get into where you are today and what got you there. And what I want to get on is the mind. What did you do? What did you do to nurture your mind? Was it reading books? Was it attending seminars later? Was it all the above? What is it that you did so other people can model and say, look, I need to clean up my garden of the weeds up here and have it nothing, flourish with a bunch of beautiful flowers instead. Let's get those weeds out of the garden. What did you do specifically to get out of that situation in your mind?
Yeah, dude. So if I had to start over today, knowing everything that I know now, but without the relationships or connections that I built or any of the money that I have now, the resources, if I had to start over today, just knowing what I know now, I would do this. This would be the piece of advice that I give myself. And that is, first, get really clear on who you are, like who you are to the core, because that's going to be who you're going to serve, is people who you were yesterday or just starting out or anywhere in between. Get really clear on that. After I get really clear on who I am, who am I, because that's more important than why you're doing it. That why is like the end part, but get really clear on who you are. All right. The next thing I'm going to do is get really clear on exactly what I want in life. And what I mean by that is, like, I got a vision board right here that I'm looking at, and it's got visual representations of everything that I want in my life, not just material things, but I got a picture, a Photoshop. This coach is leaning down talking to these kids on his football team, and I Photoshop my head on the coach's head and my son's name on the back of the jerseys, and that's a visual representation of me coaching the football team. Every single area of my life, I know exactly where I'm going. So I got clear on who I am. I got clear on where I'm going. Now I'm going to get clear on why that's important to me. I'm going to write this down on paper. Why do I have to make that a reality? Because that's what's going to get me to push through the times where I don't want to get up out of bed at 5 a.m., where I don't want to go to the gym, where I don't want to write this email, where I don't want to hop on this podcast, whatever. I'm going to push through it because I have strong reasons why I'm doing it now. And once I got all that clear, then I'm going to find the biggest problem that I can find and figure out how to solve it. Like a problem that people will pay millions of dollars to solve. I'm going to find the biggest problem out there, and I'm going to solve that one problem. And then I'm just going to drive that home and just go as hard as I possibly can.
That's phenomenal. And I love the vision board concept. And I love what you did on the vision board because it brought back memories of coaching my son in football. I have one of each, a daughter and a son. Coached them both in t-ball, anything I could, and basketball. And yeah, it's quite a wonderful feeling to be able to contribute to their lives and the lives of their little teammates, man. It's just nothing else comes close to that when you get to serve and help others like that. And that's what I get from you, Zachary, is you love to serve and help others. That's what I got from you sitting across from you 2 years ago, is that you just love helping people. How important do you think that is in one's success or lack thereof in their business?
I think it's ultra important, but I think it's twofold. I think you got to help yourself first and foremost. A lot of good people maybe don't either understand this or don't want to say because they think like it's a bad thing to be selfish first, but you literally can't fill up a cup from an empty cup. You have to take care of yourself first and foremost. And so like, you know, have that drive to want to win so bad to be the very best at whatever it is that you want to do. And then have that drive to do the contribution, because the contribution part is where you really get that fulfillment from. So like a really quick, real quick example, like above my computer screen right now, I'm looking at a plaque that was given to my mom. It's an award. It's the Ferguson Citizen of the Year Award. And we grew up in Ferguson, Missouri, and they gave it to my mom because she created this organization called Ferguson Youth Initiative. She started in 2010 when my sister died of a heroin overdose. This organization helps youth in the community take on leadership roles and then gives so many cool stuff, right? And my mom died in 2015, shortly after getting this plaque. And this organization lives on almost 5 years later now. To this day, that's her legacy, something that continues to impact people long after she's gone. That's what I want to model my life by.
Man, that's big. That's awesome. It's amazing. And I love the fact that you said it's twofold. It's not just giving. And that's so important for entrepreneurs to understand, especially those just starting out. It's not only okay for you to make money, it's your responsibility to make money. Because when you are able to make money, a lot of money, you can then use that, reinvest it, and serve more people. For those of you that are worrying about it being selfish, I used to be that same way, Zachary. I think everybody starts out like, yeah, but it's all about me. I don't want to make it about making money. But the fact remains, it must be part of your overall goal and dream is you must make money. And in fact, I hope that this gentleman next to me, Zachary Babcock, makes a boatload of money, more than he's making now, way more. I mean, beyond fathomable imagination, because I know he's going to take that and turn it into more and more resources to help more and more entrepreneurs, as he's doing right now. You know, they say money makes you more of who you already are. The more money you make, it makes, it magnifies who you already are. And that's what I want to see happen to Zachary Babcock. I'd love to see a magnified Zach. That's going to be an amazing guy. He's already amazing, but let's bring it even closer and bigger and wider and say, this guy's changing people's lives right now. He's got a great client base. And I love the energy in your groups, Zach. You've come I have so many questions for you. And there's no way I could get them all through here tonight or today. I always have a night podcast. But what would you say? There are certain keys to being a successful entrepreneur. It takes many different skill sets, right? There's a lot of them. There's marketing, sales, team building, scaling, leadership. The list goes on and on. Where you are today, right now in your walk of your success, what would you say are the top 3 skills that have brought you where you are and that can catapult you onto the next level as you go forward?
Great question, bro. And here's what I would say first and foremost is to be able to identify who you are, because here's the deal. I'm a visionary. If you want to give the corporate role, it's the CEO. All right. I'm the guy that has the ideas. I can develop the culture of the organization. I solve big problems. I'm really good with relationships. Those are, my strengths. Right. But then there's the side of the business where the systems and operations that Tony, that plays that role in our company, where they solve the small, finer details that make the business run. They build the systems for so say, for example, I sell mugs, right? And you go and buy this mug on an e-commerce store. Well, after you buy it, then you receive that order, then it has to get manufactured, then it has to be shipped out, and blah, blah, blah. All these things have to happen in order for you to get this mug. I couldn't figure out all that stuff. There was no way, because that's my weakness. I don't do that, but you need that for a business, and every business you need systems and operations. You need your for that role to thrive. And so number one is figure out who you are as a person, and then double down on your strengths and surround yourself with the people that complement your weaknesses. For me, for an example, Tony Banta, he's our COO, dude. Like, if I didn't have him, we wouldn't be where we're at right now, period. Even though I get the credit a lot for a lot of stuff, which rightfully so, but he deserves just as much credit as I do, because he does so much for us, like all the things that I suck at, you know what I mean? So that's definitely figuring out what your strengths are, going deep on that. I guess to technically answer your questions, like my strengths, I feel like empathy is such a big one, being empathetic. And I mean that, dude, because all right, unless you're listening to this right now, like you are, but if you just were to see my posts or something, sometimes you might feel like, this guy's a real dude, but man, he's pretty intense, which I am. I'm very intense. All right. And it's super intense. But you might get the idea sometimes like, man, this guy's kind of like, and I do have that. I use like dark thoughts and emotions and stuff, all the stuff that we all have as humans. And I use it as a strength of power because we all have them. And I use it to do good stuff with. But if you just read my Facebook post, you might not know that I'm super empathetic versus like I could sit here I say this because a lot of guys we have it, but we don't use it because we feel like it's soft or whatever. But I could sit in a group, like say if we're talking with a group of 5 dudes at like a conference or whatever, all males, right? And I could pick up on the guy to the left of me feeling uncomfortable because the guy on the right's telling a story and he's making fun of someone for doing something, and the guy on the left does that on a regular basis, and now he feels awkward. Like I pick up on little things like that, which goes a long way versus selling, being able to figure out where people are and meet them where they're at and help them get what they want instead of always looking at it from you got to look at it from an objective view. That's one thing. I got plenty of flaws too. That's another thing. Like I am not scared to talk about my flaws. I call it I'm gonna shut up after this. I don't mean to rant on, but I call it the Slim Shady principle. What did Slim Shady do? He bagged on himself. You couldn't talk crap on him because he did it all to himself. And then if you put it all out to the forefront, then you're aware of your weaknesses, and then you know what you need to work on. And can't nobody talk bad about you, because if you own up to it, what are they going to say? You know? So those are some things that I bring to the table.
There were so many things in there that were so pertinent and great for lessons for those. Yeah. Thank you, Kareen. Emotional intelligence is a strength for men in business. Absolutely. And that's what you were talking about, being aware of that person on your left, being uncomfortable. I love that. And the other part was you have no problem stepping aside from your own ego for you to give that kind of props to someone else, your COO, Tony. Not every guy will do that. And that is key and I know this because everybody has an ego, not just guys. I think more so guys than most, I would say. I don't know for sure. I haven't done any analysis on this, but ego is basically a cancer to anyone's business, in my personal opinion. If your ego is, if it's leading the charge, then it's going to be a long haul. And the sooner you can push that to the side and not only give credit where credit's due, but give the task and step back and be okay with it and let it happen. It's so easy to want to micromanage everything because this is my baby. This is my business. I mean, was that a difficult thing for you to step back and say, all right, Tony, run with it? Or did it come a lot easier for you, maybe because you've read a lot of books and you knew that you had trained your mind to do so ahead of time?
So that part was actually easy, because it was all things. It was like, these are all things I don't enjoy doing and I need help with because I got, we're gaining momentum and I can't even do all this stuff. So that was easy. But what you brought up with what I thought was such a great point was about the ego. So we all are going to struggle with it, especially as you start to grow and you start to get some success. Then you start to get this feeling of grandiosity and thinking like your crap don't stink, right? Which is bull. And I've had to rein myself, and I still have to watch myself because sometimes I'll get super, leading with the ego. And it's like there's a fine line that you have to balance. So like how I like to do it is like in my preparation before it's time to actually perform, but before it's time to execute. In my preparation, I like to study. I'm as humble as can be. I'm listening to all the constructive criticism, period. And I'm looking at it from objective views, really honing in on that and being super as humble as I possibly can be. And then when it comes time to execute, then I get super confident, almost cocky in a sense when it comes to execution, because now we're done preparing. We did all the preparation. Now it's time to execute. And then you got to balance that. And it's like we find that fine line as a kid of the lines, what to cross and what we can't cross. And then we spend the rest of our lives dancing across that line. And it's not easy. And we're all going to make mistakes. But what you said about that ego is not getting too ahead of yourself. You got to rein yourself in. You got to constantly do that.
Totally. Yeah. And yeah, the thing that's going on in social media right now is crazy. You can't say almost anything without someone taking offense, which has gotten crazy. Everyone's oversensitive. And that's the thing. People that are making those weird remarks that are, they don't fit the person that you are. I mean, I saw one recently and I'm like, yeah, but if you only knew this guy, It's like, come on. I think there's something to be said there to being not just careful, be truthful and tell the truth as you see it, but there's no need to fan the flame and continue on. And it's just been a little bit taken out of control lately. And it would be nice if we could all just calm down a little bit and be there for each other. I know who you are to a core. You're a brother. You love people. You love helping people. And I'm the same way. And I think everyone can get along. And I'm just so excited to have you on this show right now. I can't tell you because of where you've been, what you've done, how you've crushed it, absolutely crushed it, how you handle your business. I am a client of yours. I'm going to say that right here out loud. And I'm glad. Because you have a phenomenal system put in place. Tony's amazing. He's a rocker. You have a support team in place and you're changing lives. And that's what a true measure of a successful entrepreneur, in my humble opinion, is someone that's in there actually doing the work, not just talking and saying they can do it. You've done it. You've proven it. You're a product of the product. That's very important, in my humble opinion, that you actually do what you say. Like affiliate programs. How many people jump onto an affiliate program and don't even own the product and they're trying to sell it? I don't. Yeah, I don't. That doesn't move my needle. I have done it in the past a long time ago, and I decided, why am I representing something I don't even stand behind myself? I'm done. I'm not going to do that ever again. And so I know you're cut from that cloth. I've followed, like I said, I'm stalking you, brother. I know more about you than you think I know. I'm telling you. And good thing is I have no shady stuff to uncover at all. All I have are great things to say about you and what you've done. And I just want everyone to know about you, your team, and know that podcasting has become one of the most powerful forms on the planet of getting the word out about your business. And I wanted to take you down that path a little bit because, and I think I know the answer, but I don't know what you're going to say. So I can't wait to hear what you say to this. In my opinion, and when it comes to business, to not only creating a successful one, but then thriving that business and growing it and scaling it, well, the lifeblood of any business is marketing. It's marketing. Without you getting your eyeballs to your business and seeing it and being able to experience it, then why bother? You can have the greatest storefront on the planet with glitzy lights and neon and beautiful music playing, but if no one's walking in close enough and can't see it, what good is it? Marketing is the way to get the word out there. So for you, this is the number one. I mean, with this whole pandemic that's been going on, the number one, I've seen it time and time again. Companies, what are they cutting first? Their marketing department. It's like, you're cutting off your own legs. What are you doing? For you, Zachary, like right now, what would you see for your business? This is so that others can model your success. What has been the number one form of marketing successful for you right now with your business?
Are you talking about like the platform in and of itself, or like how do you go about like marketing it? Like you talking about like using podcasts, for example, or
concept that's working for you, marketing approach. Not necessarily, it doesn't have to be a specific platform. Chunk it up a little and just say, well, we market, the best form of marketing for us is.
Yeah. So absolutely. Great question. So it's going to end up being paid advertising. We just started doing that literally 5 weeks ago. And we're not like crushing it with paid advertising yet. We're profitable, but we're not like killing it, right? But we will be soon because we just started it and we're only going to get better. But we built a thriving 6-figure business. We're scaling a 6-figure business all based off of organic marketing. And here's the key from my experience. There isn't a cookie cutter model. There's literally you could do it whatever works for you, right? But here's from my experience, and that is demonstrate what you're doing. Like you said earlier, you're the product of the product. I show people, hey, I'm not just showing you like this podcast stuff. Like here's our lineup for till August. We got celebrities throughout the whole entire thing. I'll show you how to do it too. Here's our download numbers. We got over 14,000. We're creeping up on 20,000 a month. We'll show you how to do it too. Here's like just demonstrate what you're doing, and then also demonstrate what you're doing for your clients. And that's it. Just demonstrate your constant spiral of upwards momentum. And then people are going to see it. I'm like, I want that too. And then it's a hard problem for a lot of people to figure out. And it was hard for me at first until I figured out. And then now it's easy. It really mean that from the bottom of my heart. It's easy to market the business now because you figured it out. Once you, just like selling is a hard thing to figure out at first. And then you land on this thing that you can help people with, and then you sell. And then once you figure out how to do it, then selling becomes easy. Like for me, selling's easy at this point. It wasn't though a couple years back. It was kind of hard. But then, you just do it. So yeah, long story short though, marketing is just to demonstrate what you're doing.
I love that. I've never heard anyone say that before. And I think that's powerful because it's kind of like, look, that makes it real, doesn't it? For a lot of people who are trying to fake it till they make it. Have you heard that before? Right. And they will act like they have something that creates great results that doesn't yet do that. And that's unfortunate. And I think a lot of the messaging will bleed that out. And it won't be as strong and as solid like, for instance, yours is. There's no doubt. There's no way of looking at Zach. Go find him on Facebook. Go find him on any social media platform, and you'll see and go to his podcast and see the celebrities. Listen to them. I mean, he's the real deal. That's what it comes down to. There's no more hiding under a facade anymore. You can't do it. It's impossible for anyone that wants to put in just a little bit of time and research. If you're not the truth in what you're doing, it'll be found out sooner or later. But you talked about, figure it out. And I can just hear so many entrepreneurs who are struggling to get to that point. What is that process like? What do they have to do to actually finally get to the point of figuring it out? What were the hurdles you overcame? What were the things that made you want to quit? That, what kind of inspiration can you give those who are in that position right now? They haven't figured it out and they heard you just say that and they're going, dang, I'd sure like to know how to do that.
Yeah, dude. I love that you're asking this question. This is something that I'm really passionate about. And the reason why is because I once put myself out there. I had a program, a guy that reached out to me was like, hey man, I got this program. We did over 20 million in revenues and 1,000 successful graduates. It's for lead gen, customer acquisition, and scaling a business. At the time, I was broke as a joke, but we took this program, repurposed it with me being like the face of it because it was a proven program. And then we were actually having people coming in, but I felt like a scumbag. I felt like a sleazeball because I'm sitting here trying to achieve what I'm teaching by teaching it. And it was just backwards, dude. And so I pulled the plug on it and said I couldn't do it no more. And I went back to the drawing board and landed on what I'm doing now. So the advice would be, it's not the sexy answer, by the way, either. And the only way that if you want to be legit, if you want long-term lasting success, you want to build something that's truly amazing, legendary, you want to win, you're going to have to do the work. And that is to find a valuable, tangible skill in the marketplace that they will pay for. For me, I'm trying to find the biggest problem there is, and I'm trying to solve it. Because if I find the biggest problem that people are trying to solve, I could find $1 million problem that people will pay $1 million to solve. And guess what? Then I'm in there. So find that problem and then become a master at solving that problem. A master. You don't become a master. That's why I can't stand the ClickFunnels community, the funnel hacker community, because their whole message is like, they give that example off of Catch Me If You Can, where it's like, where the cops asked him when they caught him, was like, how did you fake being a college professor? He's like, well, I didn't need to know everything. I just had to read a chapter above and then teach it to him. That's the worst advice I've ever heard in my life. The worst. Look, check it out. At the end of that movie, that dude went to prison, and so did I. And I ain't trying to go back to prison, so I ain't going to fake it being an expert. I'm going to take the time to truly master a skill, really become world class at it, and I'm going to beat out all the fake experts every single time because the talent and the skill and the results are going to speak for themselves.
Man, that is just so true. And yeah, maybe it's not sexy, but it's the truth, and that's what I love about it. Because here's the thing, everyone watching and listening, if you haven't figured it out yet, all you need to do is become certain in what you need to do. And Zachary just gave you that certainty. It's all about certainty. People want to know, they don't necessarily need the solution in their hands. They just want to be certain that the time and money they're going to invest going forward, or more certain as they can be, that the higher probability, there's a super high probability of success at the end of that. And Zachary just gave you the secret. There is no secret. It's work hard. And the other part I loved about it was, test the marketplace, find out what the market wants before you go developing that new shiny object. How many times have you had a great idea, Zach, say, oh my God, everybody's going to want this. And Nobody wants it. Absolutely nobody.
Right.
I've been there many times. And finally, after all that I've taught from stage, all the concepts, I've read books, and I said, maybe I should take my own advice. And I started getting feedback, people telling me this very show, the guests that came on, person after person said, Brian, can you show me how to do what you do? And I thought, wow, the market's screaming and I'm not listening. I better wake up. And so I created an actual program around everything you see in here, but there's a lot behind the scenes, as you're well aware of, Zach. I know we're going to talk more about that too later, not today on the show. But yeah, it's about find what the market wants, number one, and then number two, work your ever living butt off and be passionate. Find something you want. Because none of this, like what Zach's doing with his podcast, I've seen under the hood. I've seen what he's gone through, what the processes he's put in place. He's worked. He's put in the diligence. I mean, kudos, brother. And same on like side on my side. It's like there's a ton of work that goes into this show. All you see is the end result right now, but going before and then after, there's a lot of effort that went into putting all this together. And if you can find a way to systemize it, then all the better. But man, we're bringing it to the last few minutes here, Zach. I know we got to be conscious of our time. There's one final question I like to ask every entrepreneur, successful entrepreneur such as yourself, that comes on this show. And it's interesting because it's kind of a deep question in a way. It's a personal question, but not in the way most people would originally think. And before I do that, though, I want you to be able to give people a way to reach out to you. I have your website queued up if you want to let people know exactly how they can reach out to you, get connected with you. If you're an entrepreneur and you don't have a podcast, I will tell you hands down, this is the guy. If you want your business to explode, then you need to connect with Zach. And on that note, Zach, how exactly can they do just that?
I appreciate you, brother. Oh, dude, you got the screenshot of the website and all that, dude. So yeah, dude, absolutely, man. The website is definitely the best place to get in touch. I would say come check out the podcast. Obviously, I'm super passionate about podcasts. Underdog Empowerment is the name of the podcast. You could check it out on any podcast platform that you listen to podcasts on. But to make it really simple for you and everybody, you could go to underdogempowerment.com, what you're seeing right now, and you might have to scroll down a little bit, but there's a little podcasting section. And in that podcasting section, there's a red button that says subscribe, and you can subscribe on any platform that you listen to podcasts on: iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, Stitcher. Actually, it's a little bit up there where you just, up a little bit. Right there, boom. And you can subscribe on any platform that you listen to podcasts on: iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, Stitcher, whichever one you prefer. Hope to see you guys over there. Obviously, if you want to connect with me on other social medias, it's all right there on the website. Hope to see you guys on the podcast. And Brian, I really appreciate you asking me, man.
Oh, absolutely. I love helping promote any way I can for people that are making a difference like you are. And just because I like you, so I get to do what I want. So, so this one,
I like that answer. I get to do what I want.
Right? It's my show. I can do it like I want. Yeah, thanks, Kareen. We're running out of time. We got one more question. I want to get Zachary. He's got to run off. He's doing lots of podcasts, and there's a great strategy behind this. Definitely hook up with Zachary. That's the number one most important thing I can tell anyone watching this that's in business. Even if you have a podcast and you're not crushing it right now, this guy has figured it out. This guy right here. I'm pointing to the left on the screen. If you're watching, if you're listening on podcast, just imagine this handsome dude next to me with a cool hat and a really nice long flowing beard. I love that thing. And this one question, though, it can be personal. But here's the thing about it, Zachary. It's there is no such thing as a wrong answer to it. It doesn't exist. It doesn't. In fact, just the opposite is true. And the only correct answer is yours. That's why it's personal. And it's an amazing question. And however long it takes you to come up with the solution, the answer, your answer, doesn't matter. Dead air time. We're not paying for this, so this works out great. If it comes to you immediately, great. Different people react different ways. It's your way. It's the only, it's my show, but it's your way. All right.
And you've built up. I'm on my heels right now. You've built up. I'm like, holy, what is the question? Man.
So are you ready?
Oh, yeah.
Right on. Zachary Babcock, how do you define success?
Success is the achievement of a goal that you set out for yourself. It doesn't mean money. It doesn't mean what other people term and society deems as success. It's what you deem as success. So how do you figure that out? Well, what do you want in life? Get really clear on exactly what it is that you want. Kind of going back, start going full circle, figure out who you are. All right. And once you figure out exactly who you are, then figure out what is exactly that you want, which is your success. And then why is that important to you? And then achieving that. And then here's how I define success. I don't necessarily have to succeed to be successful. Here's how I'm going to define success at the end of my life. I'm going to look back at the end of my days when I'm on my deathbed, close to death, and I'm going to look back on my life. And as long as I know that I did everything in my power to make my dreams a reality, and maybe I didn't make all of them a reality, I'll be totally cool. I'll be peaceful at that. But I would not be okay if I look back and say, well, man, I left something on the table. I could have did more. And maybe that's the reason why I don't have it. And if I have any of those types of regrets, then that's a failure. But as long as I'm doing everything that I can to make it happen, that's a success.
I mean, there's nothing I can say on top of that because that is your definition of it, but I resonate with it. I resonate with no past. This is show number 101, by the way. And of all the past guest experts, no two have answered it the same way. Isn't that amazing?
That's crazy.
That's why it's so personal. And yes, there is a book coming your way called How Do You Define Success? It's going to be a collaboration of all of these answers. I can't wait to get that pulled together. That's going to be an awesome book. And you will be included, Mr. Babcock, if you will grant me the permission to include you in that.
Oh yeah, absolutely, dude. I'm honored, dude. Hey, you ain't got to ask me.
I love it. Well, brother, you've been phenomenal. And I just want to close it out real quick and give you one last hurrah, if you will, to say, if you were to give advice to somebody, an entrepreneur who's looking to take their game to the next level, and you could sum it up in one concept, and you were sitting across the table like you were from me, what advice would you give that person to help them to get over the hump wherever they're at in their walk with entrepreneurship?
Man, it would be different depending on where they're at in their situation, but some general advice to help people get over the hump is ask the right questions. Instead of saying, why is this crap always got to happen to me? That's asking the wrong questions and you'll start searching for the wrong answers. But if you ask the right questions, what's the next best thing that I can do to get one step closer to my goal? That's the right question, because then your brain searches for the right answers. Dude, I still got to check myself. There's days where it seems like everything, like, dude, I'm a firefighter. Like I'm putting out fires all day long. Everything that could go wrong does go wrong. And then I start to get pissed. I'm like, ugh. And then I go, all right, hold on. I got to catch myself. All right, what's the next best thing that I can do in this situation? Maybe I can't control all this stuff from happening, but I control how I respond to it. And if you can get to that level, man, you'll make leaps and bounds of gain.
Words of wisdom. I hope everyone was writing notes. I know I wrote notes. I'm running the whole show, and I've got almost a full page of them. And I just love being able to interact with wonderful, amazing individuals as you, Zachary. Thank you once again for taking the time to come on and provide value and boost our viewers, in their minds, and give them hope, because that's what you do. You give people hope. And not only that, you give them then a vehicle to turn that hope into reality and results that they want and deserve. And that would be through UnderdogEmpowerment.com. Don't forget, go check that out and subscribe and listen. It's got amazing, amazing guests. Soon it'll be yours truly will be on there. So watch for that. All right.
Oh, yeah.
With that, my buddy, I appreciate you on behalf of the amazing Zachary Babcock. I am Brian Kelly, the host of the Mind Body Business Show. Until next time, we will see you once again. Be blessed, everyone. So long for now.
Peace.
Thank you for watching and listening. This has been the Mind Body Business Show with Brian Kelly.